Hi everyone. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, stick around because later on in this video you're going to hear some facts that if your only source of information has been the mainstream media, you are not going to have heard of. I promise you. I don't talk about Donald Trump much on my channel, and the reason being is CNN and MSNBC talk about him constantly. It stops them from talking about the war in Yemen, the genocide in Yemen, and the fact that they're supporting Israel, and Israel is an apartheid state that's killing Palestinians all over the place. But, talking about Stormy Daniels and whatever Trump has tweeted lately takes the attention off that. But in this case, I'm going to be talking about him because this, unlike most articles about Trump, is important. Trump prepared to revoke security clearance of DOJ official linked to Steele dossier, The Hill says. It's the article. President Trump on Friday said he prepared to revoke the security clearance of Justice Department official Bruce who has come under fire from the president for his role in the Russia probe. Asked if he will take away clearance, Trump said he expects to do so very quickly while calling a disgrace. The president spoke to reporters on the South Lawn before leaving the White House for New York. His comments come 2 days after he revoked former CIA's director. Oh, God, the hell. His comments come 2 days after he revoked former CIA director John Brennan's security clearance, a move he said was connected to his role in the Russia probe. Could that be something to do with the Steele dossier as well? Time will tell, I assume. Trump's moves have been criticised by lawmakers in both parties as an abuse of power. I don't think it is an abuse of power, and I'll explain why later on. A Justice Department official has drawn scrutiny from House Republicans as a result of his links to Fusion GPS, the research firm behind the controversial Steele dossier, alleging ties between Trump and Moscow. The dossier, which was funded in part by the Democrats, is central to the House Republicans' claims that the FBI exhibited bias in its investigation of Trump's ties to Moscow during the 2016 campaign. His wife, Nellie, worked for Fusion GPS during the 2016 election. Worked for the Deputy Attorney General's office until late last year when he was demoted after it was discovered he had contacts with Christopher Steele, the former spy who compiled the dossier. The White House listed a number of individuals whose clearances the president was considering revoking on Wednesday, but all of them are former officials except for meaning the move would have a direct effect on his ability to perform his role. Now, I don't know who the rest of the officials are, but you can guarantee after I've recorded this video, I'm going to be going to find out. Quote, for if he doesn't have classified access, he can't perform his job, Mark Zaid, an attorney specialising in national security cases, told The Hill on Thursday. Quote, he would typically then be suspended and then be possibly terminated. The Justice Department declined to comment. Meanwhile, Republicans on the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees are preparing to interview her behind closed doors later this month as part of their inquiry into the Steele dossier. Now, this from The Hill comes on the back of this from Fox News. DOJ's Bruce wrote Christopher Steele was, quote, very concerned about Comey's firing, afraid they will be exposed. Says there at the bottom, a collection of Justice Department official Bruce emails, texts and handwritten notes revealed by Fox News reveals that he was deeply connected to the unverified Steele dossier as well as its author and, during the presidential election campaign, the alleged government surveillance abuses involving the Trump campaign official. Now, the rest of the article is here. I'm not going to read it. It is Fox News. I'll leave a link to it below if you want to go and read it. But this is really interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because of what I said at the beginning. If you haven't seen my videos before, here's the stuff that the media, the mainstream media, won't be telling you that is factually true. This is actually from Wikipedia, this page is. Look there at the bottom. Just right there at the bottom. In 2017, this is all about D-notice. A D-notice or a DMA notice or a DA notice is what the UK government sometimes put on the British press to stop them publishing certain things that are against the interests of national security. For instance, it says there, in 2004 and 2005, 3 blanket letters were sent to newspapers advising against publications of countermeasures used against roadside ambushes used by British forces in the Iraq War. So it stopped them from publishing that, because otherwise, obviously, it would be public knowledge how the British Armed Forces are using countermeasures against roadside ambushes. Now, just there at the bottom, in 2017, a D notice was issued against British journalists revealing the identity of the British author of a controversial dossier alleging collusion between Donald Trump and the Russian government during the 2016 presidential election. Now, newspapers don't have to adhere to D notices. It's not by law. However, it is something that they generally do. But as you can see there at the bottom, BBC News, the Daily Telegraph and the Guardian all published Christopher Steele's name. The government didn't want that. However, his name was all over the internet by that stage, so it does make sense that they just went, well, this makes no point, it's not publishing the same as everybody else. But what's interesting is how this connects to Sergei Skripal. Sergei Skripal knew Christopher Steele. And Sergei Skripal was obviously this this ex-Russian army agent who was a British spy. He knew Christopher Steele. They actually lived in Salisbury. When he was poisoned, Sergei Skripal, as Alex Thompson from Channel 4 News said in a tweet, about the only decisive public move by the authorities has been to censor mainstream media via a D notice last week from fully identifying Mr. Skripal's MI6 handler living nearby. The MI6 handler is called Pablo Miller. The D notice also mentioned Orbis Business Intelligence, which is Christopher Steele's company. Now, I don't know for sure whether that's the company that received the payments from Fusion GPS to get the dirt on Trump. I can only assume so, but I don't know for certain. I know the D notice was on Orbis Business Intelligence, though. That's how it all fits in. So it also sort of explains why Trump has been pushing back against his intelligence services, especially over Russia. It also explains why he didn't want to put the sanctions on Russia. Do you remember? And I remember at the time TYT was saying, oh, is this proof that he's in collusion with Trump because he's not being hawkish, which is just a dangerous thing to be doing. But this is how these things are all connected. This is the stuff that the mainstream media aren't telling you. There's obviously something gone on here that is extremely shady, with people getting poisoned. A woman died of this Novichok supposed poisoning, remember. It's all very interesting, especially when you also factor in the account that when that Steele dossier was published, not long afterwards, the head guy at MI6, he was gone, he resigned. So this is all connected. MI6, FBI, CIA, Fusion GPS, they're all connected somehow. The question is whether we can connect the dots in the right way to draw the right picture. Now, I'm going to go away. I'm going to find out all the names of all these other people that Trump wants to revoke the security clearance of. But I just wanted to do an update video just to say, keep an eye on this. Because a lot of the stuff about Trump is obviously nonsense. You don't need to know who he was shagging before he was married. You don't need to know, oh, it was a porn star. You don't need to know if he paid right. You don't need to know any of that. This, though, this is stuff that we really need to pay attention to, because this could be the story that exposes the whole story that's been happening over the last 2 years now. 2 years this Russiagate nonsense has been going on. It is nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. It is something thought up by the DNC and Hillary Clinton, in my opinion, to deflect attention away from the fact that they rigged the primary against Bernie Sanders, which cost them the election and they lost to Donald Trump. It stops them from moving left. It stops them from adopting Bernie Sanders policies, which the majority of America want. And it lets them carry on taking corporate money and being corrupt. They don't have to move. It's easy to just blame Russia. It's dangerous. Could cause another Cold War just because the Democrats won't admit that they suck and they're perennial losers. Anyway, just wanted to do a quick video on that just to say to everybody, keep an eye on it, because it's something that I will definitely be paying close attention to, and you should too. If you enjoyed this video, please click the bell down there and subscribe so you get a notification of next time I drop a video. Also, I can't do this without your help, so if you can afford it and you enjoy my videos, please support the channel by subscribing to my Patreon. Link is down there. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and it really does help. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Please share my work and talk to other people about the issues that I bring up. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.